Hello everyone. In my last video, I have given you an introduction to human values and professional ethics, and we have discussed three terms: skills, values and aspirations also. And as I have told you, today I am going to start with the first chapter of the first unit, that is understanding value education. Right, so this is going to be the introductory chapter for the entire chapters to come. So this is more of a definition and understanding part, and the real in-depth topics are going to start from your second chapter, right? So let us see now unit 1, chapter 1, understanding value education. Right, so under this, see, so far you have all of you know what is the meaning of education, right? So whatever we are going to schools, colleges and universities and acquiring knowledge, that is all part of education only. And as I told you in the last video, education is different from value education here, because as we have seen, education is largely skill based, and we are acquiring a lot of skills but without values. That is the reason why we are emphasizing in this particular subject on value education. So as the term suggests, value and education going together, that means skills along with values. Right, so the first part of it is meaning of value education. Any education which enables us to understand what is valuable for human happiness. That means, see, why we are actually pursuing education? Only to acquire, to get some money, and out of money we are trying to be happy, isn't it? So the more money, the more happiness. This is the definition of happiness in the present society. But here, this value based education or value education, it is going to tell you what, it is going to make you understand what is valuable for human happiness. That means not just being happy, but what is really valuable for making, deriving happiness or for making you happy. Right, so this is a value based education, and it is going to teach you how you are going to acquire values and how you are going to pursue your education based on these values. And it also enables a transformation from animal consciousness to human consciousness. See, the present lifestyle of human beings is largely animal consciousness based. That means, you know what animals need? Animals just need food and some sort of shelter from the adverse climate, and they have some other physical requirements. If they are fulfilled, that's enough for them. But if you see, even human beings today, they are, although they are having lot of intellect and logical thinking and reasoning capabilities, still they are behaving like they are behaving largely based on animal consciousness. So when you go for a value based education, that is value education, you are going to get transformed, changed from animal consciousness to human consciousness. And the second part is need for value education. So why do we actually need it? We need value education for the following reasons. Number one, correct identification of our aspirations. In the last video, I told you what happens if you develop your aspirations based on skills but not based on values. Then generally your aspirations tend to be selfish. And out of selfishness, what happens is the aspiration that you are selecting for yourself, that is going to be harmful either to you or to the society at large, or even detrimental to the environment also. So correct identification of our aspirations, which aspirations are good to choose, which are not, that identification is possible if we have value based education. And the second thing here is understanding universal human values to fulfill our aspirations in continuity. So not just having an aspiration, everyone will have an aspiration, but how to fulfill them, and fulfilling them in continuity. I want to become a doctor. Okay, how to become a doctor? I try to find out a way, I become a doctor. But after that, what? There should be a continuation for that, right? So you will understand universal human values to fulfill aspirations in continuity. Means to select an aspiration, as we have seen in the first part, you will identify a proper aspiration based on universal human values, and you will try to fulfill your aspirations in continuity. This is done with the help of value based education. And then complementarity of values and skills. This also we have discussed earlier. Complementarity of values and skills means they go hand in hand together. You can't be successful with one. You have very good values but you have no skills. Just based on your values, you are not going to get any job. The same way, you have skills but you don't have values. Then as I said, you will be harmful You will be destructive to everybody, to the company in which you are working, or to the people around you, or to the environment, or whatever. So these should go always together, they should be complementary, and this you will realize when you go for value based education. And then evaluation of our beliefs. See, human beings are largely driven by belief system. What my parents tell me, I think it is correct, and what I teach my children, they think it is correct, or what our teacher says, or what the society says, we think it is correct. Like for example, they say money keeps us happy, right? You will be always concentrating on that. Yes, I want to be happy, so I want money. If they say that getting a job in a corporate industry is something very great, then if you are not finding a job in the corporate sector, you will become depressed, because that is not actually the only way to survive. But what happens is, we have that belief system in our minds. It is put into our minds right from our childhood that you should become a software engineer, or you should get a corporate job, or if you study in corporate school, you will be intelligent. If you go to IIT college, then only you will be a good engineer. If you are not getting seat in IIT, that means you can't become a successful engineer. This kind of belief system that we have, we can evaluate how far it is correct. We can evaluate our beliefs and correct them if we are wrong. That comes only through value education. Simple education can't do this, but value based education can help you evaluating your beliefs. And then technology and human values. You all know what is technology. Technology makes our lives easier, simpler, makes our work simpler. So as such, we are trying to think about innovative ideas, coming out with new and new varieties of technology. But if it is not going together with the human values, I mean, if you are this technology is not based on values, then it is going to be destructive. Technology can be constructive as well as it can be destructive. So if it is value based technology, supposing you know that we should not harm the environment is very important for us, we should not destroy nature, then you will come with an environment friendly technology. If you don't have that awareness, you will try to create something new, but it can be harmful to the nature as such. So this is also one thing that comes under need for value education. So you can keep all these points in mind. So you need value education to learn all these. Without value education, you will not have an awareness of all these, and you will tend to be more selfish and self-centered. And then third one is basic guidelines for value education. So what are the guidelines? Supposing a syllabus is prepared, a curriculum is prepared, like what are the guidelines that you keep in mind to study value education is, number one, it should be universal. Means it should be universally applicable to everybody. All human beings, irrespective of caste, creed, gender, whatever, and to all places, all times. It's not that only in this century it is useful, not applicable for the next century. It's not like that. Values are applicable always. So value based education is going to be universal. It should be universal, okay, and rational. It should it should provide you the facility to think and reasoning and logic should have a scope in this, because if there is no reasoning and logic, then generally what happens is your study tends to be dependent more on blind beliefs. So it shouldn't be on blind beliefs or some superstitions. It should have some reasoning thing also. So that should be one part of this thing, value education. Another thing is natural and verifiable. It should be naturally acceptable. Whatever content you are including in this, it should be naturally acceptable. That means it shouldn't be something which nobody understands, or when you think about it, you feel that how can this be correct? It's not like that. Supposing if I say we should not pollute air should be clean, water should be clean and all. So that should be naturally acceptable to anyone. Nobody can say that no, nothing happens if water is dirty. It's not like that. So you can verify also what happens when water pollution is there, what is happening all around the world because of air pollution. You can check it out. So it should be naturally acceptable and verifiable. Whatever we are studying in this value-based education, it should be of this sort. And then all encompassing, it should cover all aspects, everything. Like what it should cover, that we will see there. See, it's there under the scope. All dimensions of thought, behavior, and 4 levels of human living, all these, everything it should encompass. So that I'll explain there. Then leading to harmony. Harmony is nothing but a peaceful living. So it should lead to harmony, world peace we can say. I mean peace everywhere. Okay, peace it at your personal level, peace within your family, within the society, in your country or throughout the world, and even in the environment as such. Okay, so this is how, these are the basic guidelines for studying value education. Like value education should be based on all these things. And then comes the scope of value education right here. See, scope of value education means what, how far it can cover, what are the things that it can cover in the syllabus. So here should include all dimensions of thought, behavior, work and realization. So it should be such that it includes all dimension of thought, all kinds of behavioral patterns, all work. You can't say that I can have value education only at the engineering level, or I can't have it at some other level. It's not like that. It is such that it should cover all dimensions of thought and behavior, and work and realization also. And then it should include all the 4 levels, and this part, 4 levels of human living. This is going to repeat till the last chapter. You have to remember, human living is of 4 levels. You know, every human being lives at 4 levels. What are the 4 levels? One is individual, family, society and nature. Means at my level I am a human being, so I should take care of myself. I'll have some pros and cons about myself. That myself is the individual level. Then comes my family, people next to me. Then society, alright. Then lastly nature. Why nature? Because human being cannot exist without nature. We are part of nature. So that is the reason every human being's life, human living, is actually what do you call, will be under 4 levels. These are the 4 levels of human living. So scope of value education is such that it covers all these things. So value education is not only for kids or only for old men or something like that. It should cover everybody, every kind of person. And next is content of value education. What we should have, I mean when you go through value education, what are you going to derive? So these are the things. Number 1, to understand myself at individual level. You can see this, to understand myself, my aspirations, my happiness. So first of all I should understand what I am, right? We people generally say like, who are you? If somebody asks, you will have a name, or you will have a profession, or you will have a nationality, that's all. But beyond that, what am I really? Understanding yourself, that is first thing. Then understanding your aspirations. You should not get carried away by your belief system or by what somebody else told you, but you should understand what your aspirations really are, what is really giving you happiness, your happiness. And then second thing here is to understand the goal of human life. What is the purpose of human life? The purpose of human life is not just choosing some profession and accumulating some wealth. There is something much more beyond that, and realizing that, to understand the goal of human life. And then to understand the other entities in nature. See, nature, as I told you earlier, it is not just human beings that are there in the nature. There are so many other things, the plant life, the other animals and so much more. So to understand all the other entities in nature and their interconnectedness, how these entities are connected to each other, how they are coexisting peacefully, they are not harming others, they are existing peacefully, and the role of human being in nature. So what is your role in that? See, we are understanding other entities, but as human beings, what is our role? We will also have some role in the nature. So this is one thing. And then to understand harmony at all the 4 levels of human living. So to understand harmony, peaceful living at not just one, like I am at peace, I am happy. That's not the thing. At all 4 levels. If there are a lot of family clashes, there is a lot of tension in your family, how can you be happy? That will influence your life also. So that means you should have harmony. You should understand how to create harmony, how to generate harmony at all 4 levels of human living. Those 4 levels, right? And then lastly, the process of value education. See, value education begins with self-exploration, that is looking inside oneself. This I'm just giving you outline. This we'll have in the next chapter in detail. See, self-exploration means what? See here, I've given you a small diagram like self-exploration. What am I versus what I really want to be. See, exploration, we just keep telling, no, when somebody goes traveling somewhere, they are exploring new places, new things. Means what? Exploring means finding out, searching for new places, new things and all. But here when it comes to self-exploration, we are searching within ourselves what we are, what I am. Okay, what are my positives, my negatives, what I want, all these things. So here what I am versus what I really want to be. What you are, you're just saying out, but you may not be happy with what you are. You may not be satisfied with what you are. So here you should understand one thing, exploration, as we explore things outside, here self-exploration means exploring inside. You explore things inside, which we will deal in detail in the next chapter. Now here, process of value education involves verification of certain proposals. You keep certain proposals, maybe you're based on your belief system, and then you start verifying them, right? I think that money is the only thing that can give us happiness. Am I right or am I wrong? This is my proposal. I'm trying to verify it. And then usually it is done in the form of a dialogue, initially between you and your teacher and later within yourself. So self-exploration is not that easy. How to look into myself, how to understand what I am and what I really want to be. It's not that easy. So initially it happens in the form of a dialogue, say a classroom discussion. You discuss with your teacher, you put forth your proposals in front of your teacher and your friends, and then you together have a discussion. That way you'll generate new ideas. Okay, so initially it starts in the form of a dialogue between you and your teacher and other classmates in the class, and slowly later on it's going to transform in such a way that you will have a dialogue within yourself. That is where real self-exploration starts. Okay, so this is the first chapter, and for the next chapter you can watch my next upcoming video. See you all. Bye bye.